Good morning, guys. Today we will discuss the virtualization from the beginning. Um, as discussed yesterday, we'll be starting the network pen testing tomorrow. So, in the virtualization, we are going to discuss all these topics, and eventually, I will upload these topics. I will upload this video to my YouTube channel. You can please go through the video before we start the network pen testing. And yeah, that is all for the time being. Let's start the virtualization. So the first point is why virtualization. As we discussed yesterday, I'm using a Ryzen 5 system with 16 gigs of memory. Let me show you that. Okay. Right now, I'm using only 12% of my CPU power and 6 gigs of RAM out of 16 gigs. That means remaining resources I'm not using it properly. In order to use resources in a proper manner or effective utilization of resources, we got virtualization concept. In order to enable virtualization, you have to go to the BIOS, and from the BIOS you enable the virtualization, then restart your system. It might be a Mac, it might be a Windows, it might be a Linux, and just check the taskbar and check this particular tab here, virtualization enabled. That means yes, now you're good to install. So this is the purpose of the virtualization. And again, I know what the types of virtualization. So as we discussed yesterday, we have two types of virtualization: type 1 and type 2. Type 1 virtualization is a bare metal virtualization. Let's yes, let's take this image. Okay, what's wrong with this image now? Okay, that's fine. Let me draw it here. So, okay, I'll go to the market. I buy all the required hardware to build my PC or laptop. So I'll come home. I fix everything in the desktop. Okay, I have my hardware here. So when I say hardware, it includes the motherboard, CPU, RAM, hard drive, and other components. Okay. On top of the hardware, now I need to install the operating system. Okay, so the operating system I'll be installing is Windows or Linux or Mac. It's totally up to you, your choice. Windows or Linux or Mac. Okay, again, there are many flavors of Linux. You can install anything. The process remains the same for everything. Okay, so now on top of that, we install our applications. So we have application one, which is Microsoft Office. We have application two, which is antivirus. We have application three, which is something Notepad++, and so on. So this is a typical system. Okay, it might be your desktop, it might be a laptop. These are typical system. So what exactly happens here in a type one vocal virtualization is, again, we go to the market, we get our hardware, and again on top of the hardware, now in a traditional manner we install an operating system, but here we don't install the operating system. We install a virtualized software, and that particular software act as a operating system as well. So we can use vSphere. There's a, the vSphere is a well-known, most popular, and it has a monopoly in the market, and many of the companies they use vSphere. Okay, this is vSphere. So vSphere operating system we install. On top of that, we install. Now this is ready. So again, in a company, again, the bare metal one we don't really use in our home purpose. Rather, in companies they use. So they have a high-end server. So this you can name this hardware as a high-end server. Okay. On top of that, they install the vSphere software. Now, as a project requirement, you raise a ticket with the IT. You say, I want a Windows operating system. So they will install a Windows operating system. Now you say I want a Linux operating system. They say okay, what is the configuration? You say I want 12 cores, 64 gigs of RAM and some good hardware. So they we call install that as well. How you will access this particular operating system? That's the biggest point, right? So if it's a Linux one, you have something like a putty. So now I'm here somewhere. Give me a minute. I'm here. Okay. The IT has we call deployed my VM. Okay, they have given my username password with which I can log into this what Linux machine. Okay, so for that I use a software called putty. Let me check whether I have putty. Yeah, I have putty. Okay, they give the IP address of the Windows and put it on some port 22, which is SSH, and username password I configure. In fact, they'll give you the username password. All you have to do is just now configure everything in the putty. We'll discuss putty in a minute. Then you say open. For example, I have already configured this session for some client, but again it won't work. So then I log into the virtual machine, the Linux virtual machine. I do all my job. That means I want to install a server, I'll install. I want to install some kind of testing software, I'll install. Now the business use case is no. Again, most of the time what happens is on the vSphere server, we install the server operating system, not the client operating system. The client operating system works on your desktop. And again, no point of installing a client operating system on a vSphere. You can do it, but again, the business justification, right? Return of money, return of income, ROI. Now, same thing. I have one more user, one more requirement. This time they ask, hey buddy, you know what? I want a Windows server. So with the, again, same kind of specs, a different kind of specs. So again, they'll deploy a Windows server here. They will give the username, password, and IP. This time, since it is a Windows, right? They use a terminal service client, Microsoft Terminal Service Client, MSTSC. So there's a remote desktop. Okay, MSTSC. Okay, here I can give the user and password. It will connect to this particular machine. Then I have to provide the username and login. Once I see the login screen, I can be logged into the system. And by the way, the remote desktop runs on 3389, I think, port number. Do I need to remember port number? Not really. You can ask ChatGPT, you can search on the internet. I have done lots of work. There's a reason I remember most of the port numbers. This is your type 1 virtualization. So type 1 virtualization is very fast because there is no operating system. It is just a core. Again, you can say it's a earlier vSphere that is from VMware, guys. They used to use the Linux kernel as a core of Linux, and eventually they have developed their own kernel, which is independent of Linux. But again, see, again, the core is same. That means you can use the same Linux commands here as well. This is type 1, and this is my laptop wherein I have my hardware. I have Windows 11. Okay, this is Windows 11, and top of that, here what I do is um, is it a rubber? This is a rubber. Yeah, this is a rubber. Oh, let me do it again. Same hardware. Okay, and on top of the hardware I have Windows 11 installed on my laptop. Desktop, same procedure, no difference. On top of that I install VirtualBox. Okay, so if you see this is my hardware, and this is my operating system, OS. Okay, this is my virtualized software. Here for this particular training purpose I'm using VirtualBox. Okay, on top of that, if I want a Windows system, I'll install a Windows system. Want a Linux system, I'll install the Linux system. Now on top of that I can install any applications I want. So this one can work on the clients and is more meaningful because again you're not buying any extra software. Over VirtualBox is open source as a free software, you can use it. And again, Linux open source software. For Windows you have 180 days trial version which you can find on the internet. I'll show you the link as well. So now This Windows 11 operating system is called as host OS. So this is my host OS, host OS, and I have number of guest OS here. This is guest OS 1, this is guest OS 2, okay, and 3 and 4. So the question is how many I can install. It totally depends on your hardware. How powerful is your hardware? So for example, if you see my system, mine is a Ryzen 5 5500U processor as a business level processor, but yes, I can do a little bit of work as well, which is very much okay with me. The amount of money I spent for this laptop. Okay. Now, since every guest operating system, you have to give a CPU, RAM, and a hard drive, network, sound, and everything. So eventually, just do the best bet. So make sure whenever you are allocating some resource to the guest operating system, your host should have enough resources. That means Windows is a power hungry operating system. It requires 8 GB of RAM just to run. Okay, if you see my task manager, I'm not running any virtualization software here, but still, see, 6 to 7. If I open one more application, the usage will go as 8. So that is the reason I have, extra 8, so I can play with that extra 8 GB of RAM. So I create one virtual machine. I'll give 2 gigs of RAM, another one 1 gig of RAM, one CPU, one CPU. Now, what is the downside of that? Those virtual machines are slow. So when I say virtual machine, guest operating system, they are one and the same. So no difference. So this is type 2 virtualization. Okay. Now let's create. Let's install this VirtualBox operating system. So I'll just go to the internet. VirtualBox. Check your operating system. Since I'm using Windows, so I'll go with the Windows. If you want Linux, you can use Linux as well. So these are different flavors of Linux. Ubuntu you can use for all Debian. You can use no problem. Fedora for CentOS and RHEL, Red Hat Linux. Okay, I'll install Windows. Click on Windows host. Okay, it is downloading the Windows VirtualBox. Now also download the VM VirtualBox extension, which is very much important. So what is this extension does is it will enhance the functionality of your VirtualBox. So again, the software installation is very simple on Windows. Just click, 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 next. That's all done. Okay, now let me show you the VirtualBox. Okay, let me delete this. Remove. Yeah, remove, only remove. That's fine. So first time when you log into your VirtualBox, you'll see something like this. Let me close this as well. Okay, this is a menu wherein you'll find some settings, configuration options. Virtual machine tab is just for creating a virtual machine. If you already have one virtual machine, you can add one, which we will be doing in a minute. This is all about network settings because VirtualBox networking is very important, guys. You need to learn that. Okay, eventually we have help. So if you want documentation, I know what is the VirtualBox version you are running, you can check here. So where can I install the VirtualBox extensions? Click on the file. Here you'll find preferences. Okay, it's not in the preferences. Earlier it was under preferences, but here you'll find one more thing. What tools, extensions. Again, in order to install the extensions, you have to start the VirtualBox as a administrator. Else it won't allow you to install. So how can I do that? VirtualBox. Okay, right click, run as administrator. Then go to this particular location and just click on install, and it will install. That's all you have to do. So these are only setting we do here, and preferences is the basic settings. You can understand where your VirtualBox want to store, blah 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 blah. This is for update, this is for language, this is for display, this is for proxy. We don't really use proxy, and this is for internet as an interface. And any other settings we use here? Yeah, import is something, import and export I'll discuss in a minute. So what is an appliance? Appliance is something like, no, here we are installing a operating system, right? Say my requirement is I want to host a website that is kilometer.co.in, right? That means I need to get my hardware, I need to install operating system, then web server, then my application. So I combine everything, I take an image. That is nothing but, I do all the configuration, I install antivirus, firewall, everything I install, then I take an image of that. That is nothing but appliance. Okay, so when I deploy that particular, the image, right, I'll get a full appliance, like full machine, fully configured machine wherein I can straight away work. If not, you have to do everything from the scratch. There's the only advantage of appliance. And even the Kali Linux, and Parrot and any other, and some Linux, they do provide appliances. Where can I get that appliance? Go to Kali download, sorry, Parrot. Okay, scroll down, 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 down. Okay, here you will find the, this is what, security edition. Do we have appliance for this Parrot? Kali, we do have appliance for Kali, but let me check. Okay, let me check here. Under this, do we have appliance? What we have, see, VirtualBox appliance. This is fully installed, configured virtual machine. Just all you have to do is just download this, come to this particular place and import the appliance. Okay, wherever it is download, just go to the particular browser and browse it, and it will open. Now, can I create this kind of appliance? Yes, guys, in real time you do. So generally what I do is, in my vocal engagements, I install the Kali Linux, I install all the software, scripts and packages, updates, everything. Then I take image. Then how I take image, I'll go here, I'll click on this, export image, and that's all I have to do. Just follow next, next, next. That's it. So the ISO, then I forward that ISO to my, my team, that is appliance. They will import. That means I know one thing. Yes, all my team members are having same Linux machine, and which is configured by me. So if they find any issues or challenges, then I know what need to be done straight away, instead of digging deeper. That's about appliance. Tools, again, extensions we have installed, and we have something like no network manager, which is very much important. We'll be discussing in a minute. Check for update, reset all warning, blah blah blah. Quit means close. Okay, this is a basic kind of interface. Now I want to create a virtual machine, right? Again, just giving a virtual machine name. Say, I'll say virtual machine, what, kilometer, right? Kilometer. This my web server I want to host. Kilometer, where I want to store. Already configure the path. Yes. Do I have to give an ISO image. ISO images you can find on the internet. ISO images nothing but your operating system image. Earlier we used to get the operating system in a CD. Eventually they have moved the CD to a virtual CD. That is nothing but ISO image. Okay, I'll give the image, whatever Linux I want to install. So for time being, I don't give. I will do it later. Then it's a Linux or Windows. I don't want to change anything. I'll say next. That's fine. Here, I can give up to 16 gigs of RAM. That is what I install. So, but again, I need to keep a track on my host, resources as well, right? So I give 2 gig is fine, and I have 16 cores. But again, it's showing me 12 cores. I'll give one. But one thing you need to understand, guys, just check this red color, bar. Do not cross this. If you cross this, again, it will affect your host operating system, the base operating system. So that is the reason they are given a warning. You can use this much, but do not cross this red. If you cross this red, that means you won't have enough resource for your Windows 11. Okay, I'll leave it for default. Again, this is one, I say, it is taking 60, sorry, 50 gigs of hard disk. The reason is I have chosen Windows here. See, Windows. If I select Linux, okay, any Linux is fine, right? Now see, 20 gigs, because the basic requirement for Windows 11 is 8 GB of RAM 8 GB of RAM, and um, 60 GB of hard drive, and at least a quad core processor which supports 4 cores. Okay, so next, I don't do anything. Next, finish. Okay, this is my virtual machine. Now I created my first virtual machine. Now I want to do some kind of settings. So I go to the settings bar. If I want to change the name, change. You want to change the operating system size, sorry, type. You can change, whatever you want to do. I'll stick with the Linux. You want to give some description, a description why I want to use this operating system. I say I am training for a corporate. Okay, again, free of cost, right? Free of cost. No cost involved in this training. Encryption, if I want to encrypt this. Okay, why do we use encryption? Again, if you're say if you are doing some kind of sensitive work, then definitely you have to encrypt. As I told you, we have this BitLocker, but here we use some different encryption. See, these are the encryption methodologies. They use AES algorithm to encrypt. So this is my system configuration. I have base memory two gigs, which is RAM. I have one processor, and I have forget about this one. We don't require floppy. We don't use floppy. We can untick this, and we have display. Okay, if you want to take the remote of this, you can do the settings. Storage, as I told you, we have CD-ROM wherein we stick our virtual CD. Okay, this is my hard drive wherein the operating system will be installing. And audio, I don't want audio. If you want, you can use this so that you can listen songs, audio, video you can do on the virtual machine. Network settings, right? This is something you need to understand. Just give me 1 minute. Let me complete the basic setting, then we'll discuss about the network. Okay, serial port is an old one, we are not using anymore. USB, again, which version of USB you want? USB 1, 2, 3. Difference, just a speed, guys. Interface, shared folder, this is something like, no, I'll create a folder on my hard drive. So say for example, I'll go to the what yeah, I'll go to downloads. Okay, I'll create a folder, I'll say um, shared with VMs. Give share permissions, property, sharing, share with whom? Everyone. Linux is dead easy, guys. Share. Okay, that's fine. Okay, anyone can use this my shared one. If you want to give a particular person, then you require advanced sharing. Just go here, and you can give to a group or whatever, username, everything, or you can do it from here itself. Just give a person name. You'll share only with that person or IP address. Okay, this is sharing is done. Now I'll go to my virtual box and click here. Path, you can say some, give some name, share, mount point, oh, other, download, share with VMs. Yeah, select this folder. That's it. Now this particular folder is shared between my host OS. This is my base OS with the virtual machine. I've configured for this particular virtual machine. It will share with this particular machine. Can I share this folder with multiple virtual machine? Yes, you can share that. Okay, that's all about your basic configuration. Now, one quick thing, guys. I want to tell about the networking. Just give me 1 minute, please. Sorry for the noise. Okay. Now, virtual machine does support multiple network configurations. And why do we use those configuration and what purpose? We'll discuss that. So let's go to the settings. We select the virtual machine, go to the network. So we can configure four different network adapters and we can enable them, okay, by just clicking the check button. Number one, does this settings will apply to all the virtual machine? No, because we have selected only one virtual machine, and this virtual machine can have four different network adapters, which will connect to four different networks. Okay, let me configure only one adapter for time being, and eventually we'll be configuring two and three as well. Okay, first network setting is NAT. Okay, NAT is a network address translation. So what exactly it does is, so let me close this with diagram. So this is my Windows 11 laptop. Okay, this is my say guest OS. I'm going to install Linux, and this is Windows. I'm going to install two OS. 11. Can I install a Windows Server operating system on this? Yes, you can install. As well, no worries. Just you need to keep a track of the hardware, especially the CPU and the RAM, because we'll be having lots of hard disk. Okay. Now I get the internet for this laptop through a wireless network, so wireless router in my home. This is my wireless router. This is my wireless router, and through wireless I get the what connectivity. Okay, that's fine, man. So what happens is, in the NAT network, my Windows PC, this is my Windows 11 laptop. In the NAT connection, what will happen is, my Windows 11 laptop will assign the connection to each and every virtual machine which is having NAT settings. So right now my scope is, I'm using only one virtual machine. Let's talk about the virtual machine. Okay, I selected the NAT. So what really happens is, my Windows 11 laptop will assign the IP address to this Linux machine. Can we change the IP address? No, this IP address cannot be changed. IP change. So what Nankishore, you're saying the Windows will, assign the IP to the VM. Yes. Same with this. Yes. Same with everyone. And the funny part is, the IP address will be also same. I think 10.0.5, 2.5 something is the IP address, and that will be same as well. Same IP, man. Same IP is also same IP. Same IP. So few things, right? Let's open the Excel sheet. NAT. VMs, host, internet. Okay, IP assign. Okay, we know, like, no, this is Windows laptop, right? Laptop. No, this is NAT configuration. So what will happen is, in the NAT configuration, my Windows 11 will assign the IP. Will assign the IP. Does it get the internet? Yes. So what will happen is, though the Windows is providing you the IP, the internet connectivity will be extended from a laptop to the Linux. That means I can connect to the internet from the virtual machine. Like this, it will connect to my laptop network adapter. From there, okay, it will all the way go to my network laptop network adapter. From there, I'll get the internet. So when though Windows 11 provide the IP, and the network will go through the Windows 11 laptop network adapter, I get the IP. Can I ping other virtual machine in these settings? No, you cannot ping. Every configuration is unique here. So this is a separate network, this is a separate network, and this is a separate network. So you might be asking, hey Nankisho, you have same IP, that means they should connect, right? Even in a company or anywhere, if you have same IP, it will give a conflict. It'll say IP conflict. It will, you need to restart or you need to reset your network adapter. It will resolve. But here you get the same IP. That means same IP in a different network, same IP in a different network, same IP in a different network. So this is the NAT network. Okay. So you get the internet. Yes. Okay. Can you ping the host? So here, yes, you can ping the host. Okay, you can ping the host. That is one way. That means the host cannot ping you. You can ping the host from the virtual machine. But from the if Windows 11 want to ping this particular IP, you cannot. But from Linux, you can ping the Windows 11 IP. Then why we are using this particular setting? Because this is a default setting for VirtualBox. So it will give a little bit of security. That means you can do whatever you want. It will avoid any kind of contamination or affection to the Windows 11 laptop. It also get the basic internet. That's how it works. So this is about NAT. Can you ping host? No, you cannot ping host. Can you ping other VMs? No. So we can say other VMs. Other VMs. So this is about the NAT network. So second network configuration what we have is bridge network. Okay. So what exactly the bridge network does is, we'll take the same example here. Let's differentiate the bridge network with what, purple color? Yeah, purple color. So here your Windows 11 will get IP from the router. If you put so let me add one more other systems at home. Okay, if you put this particular virtual machine on a bridge network, this virtual machine get the IP directly from the router. Okay, through Wi-Fi. Again, it uses the laptop adapter. It get the directly it will get the IP. That means your laptop one IP, this IP. If you put one more, if you put this VM also in the same bridge, this also, so everyone will get an IP. That means even the virtual machines will behave like an independent system on your network. Okay, so that means it will consider everything as one network. Okay, if I have a TV in home, right? Okay, if I have a smart TV in home, I have a fridge, I have a mobile phone, I have some Alexa, some assistant devices, they all get IP from the router. So that means what? That means everything is one network. That means your virtual machine can ping even your TV, your mobile phone, everything. Okay, this kind of setup is mostly used in corporates. The reason is, corporate do have different server. One server is called DHCP server. The purpose of the server is just to provide IP to the system. So when you raise a request with the IT department, hey buddy, as a project requirement, I need a desktop. They say, does virtual machine works? Yes, man, it works. Okay, you'll give the local configuration. He will deploy the virtual machine. He put the network as a bridge, and the corporate will what manage your IPs. So you might be asking me, hey Nankishore, can I install this virtual machine on my Wipro laptop and I'll create a create a bridge network and I'll go to the office, can I use? Literally, you can use. The problem is straight away IT will get, hey, there's one more system running, okay, as a VM on this particular laptop. It is requiring requesting a new IP. Then they will ask you, what's happening on your laptop? Who asked you to install? So it's better on your Wipro laptop, keep the settings as NAT. That will keep all, that will hide all your activities. So this is a bridge network. Okay, let's go to the Excel sheet. So can I ping other devices at home? No. This is bridge. Can I ping other VMs? Yes. Can I ping host? Yes, because can I get internet? Yes. Can I assign the IP? The router will assign the IP, not you. Okay. Can I ping any other devices on my home network? Yes. Now, simple funda. I install Kali Linux here. I put that on a bridge network. I'll go to my home, my friend's home. Just I run one network discover command. It will give me all the IPs, who got the IP from the router, all the devices. It might be a smart watch also, you'll get. Even my Ola vehicle, you can get. Because bridge is a part of the network, right? So it has, a kind of access to each and every system. This is a bridge network. Okay. What is the next network configuration we have? Internal network. This is interesting, right? Now, let me again, this is my Windows laptop. Okay. Okay, I have a virtual machine here. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Okay, this is my Linux, this is my Windows, this is my Mac. You can, by the way, you can install Mac on virtual machine as well. Okay, and this is my Red Hat Linux. Okay, the requirement is I want to set up a lab. Okay, I am working with some kind of viruses, and this is our kind of what say sensitive data. Okay, I want to install all systems, and this system should communicate with each other. Okay, so they are, when they communicate, that means they are part of the network, right? Okay, this network should be isolated from everyone. That means no one can access network. Just give me 1 minute. Hello. uh, uh, sir, 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 sir. Sorry for the guys. So I'm setting a complete isolated, network inside my laptop. Okay, and this is my Windows laptop. Okay, here. So that means, does this have connectivity with my host? No. Do they get any internet from the my Windows or router? No. It's a complete isolated network wherein they communicate among themselves. Internal network. Okay. Does it communicate with other VMs? Yes. If the VM is a part of the network, yes, it will communicate. Now I have another VM which is not a part of the network. This is another VM. Okay. They do communicate? No, because we are creating a separate network and these are separate VM. No, they won't. Okay. Can we pay? Can it ping to the host? Any connection between the VM and the host? No connection. Does it get the internet? No. Can I assign IP? Yes, you have to assign IP manually. Manually, you have to assign the IPs. No. Does it ping other systems on this network? No. No. So, which scenario you use this kind of setup is when you have a requirement to set up a sensitive network, or especially when you're doing malware analysis, wherein, say, you are working with some kind of virus or Trojan. In that case, yes, you do these kind of things. That's the internet work. No, I have one system which is infected by virus null. Yes, you can put that system in a particular, isolated network like this. Here you will have only one VM, not all VMs. Then you can work because whatever activities happen, that will be confined within these boundaries. So that's about the internal network, right? Then we have host only adapter, guys. So host only adapter means the connection will happen. The connection will happen between the virtual machine and the host system. That's it. Okay. Now the connection will happen between the host system and the Windows 11. The host system will provide you the IPs. For this, we need to configure the DSCP on the host system. How can we do that? Okay, if I put my system on the host only adapter, we say okay, go to the file, we have tools, we have network manager. Can you see this is a host only adapter, this is a NAT adapter, this is a cloud adapter. So we check the host only adapter, come here, configure an adapter automatically, enable this DSCP server, you get the IP address from here. So the host will provide all this IP address to the virtual machines. In that case, it will ping the host, okay, and it will ping the VMs as well, but there won't be any internet. Even the connection will happen within the VM because they will be the part of the same network. Okay, so the same like the isolated network. Here we are including the host as well. So go to our Excel sheet, host only adapter. Can we ping other VMs? Yes. Host, yes, we can ping. Do we get the internet? No, you don't get the internet. IP assigned by Windows 11. Okay, this Windows 11, but this is what? Say kind of static. You cannot change. It's not Windows 11. Basically, it's a virtual box will assign this IP. The default IP, which you cannot change. That's it. Windows 11, and here you need to enable the DSCP. Okay, and can we ping other systems on the network? No, the network will be confined only to your laptop. Okay, that's about your host only adapter. Now, what else we have? We have what else? Well, let's check the network. Generic we don't really use, but NAT network is something important, guys. So in order to define the NAT network, so what we have to do is first and foremost close this. Yeah, discard changes, man. That's fine. Not preferences, man. Go to network manager. Can you see NAT network here? So I have created many networks. Let me delete them. I do lots of R&Ds on different VMs. Okay, I'll create a network. So I'll give the network name as, say this is lab network. Okay, and this is IP range. DC DSCP is enabled by default. I'll click on apply. Okay, now what I do is I'll just go to my systems, then I'll click on the settings, go to the network. I select the NAT network. Select the name. Yeah, the name is fine. Okay. Now what it does is, again, the NAT network, what it does is it provides the same kind of connectivity wherein now these particular systems will get internet as well. So that means you can ping your Windows 11, you can ping your other VMs. Also, you get the internet as well. So this is the only typical scenario wherein you get the internet. So the same thing we mentioned here. Can you ping other VMs? Yes, we can ping. So we have a dedicated company like network wherein all the system they connect among themselves. In the same way they will connect to the internet as well. Can we ping the host? Yes, you can ping the host. We get the internet. IP assigned by again DSCP. Windows 11 we need to configure this DSCP. Windows DSCP. Does it ping other? No. So now, Nankishore, these five things, five networks. Yes, guys, you need to mug up, you need to do whatever you want to do, but master these five networks. You need to know which network comes into picture for which scenario, and you will learn with the time. I can guarantee that with the time and some requirements. If you create your own requirement, then you'll learn. So my requirement is something like Nankishore. Let me control again. This is my Windows 11 laptop again. I need to set up a pen testing lab on this. So I give the attacker machine as red color. Come on, okay. This is my Kali Linux machine. Okay. I will be installing my one. Sorry. I will be installing vulnerable virtual machines as my targets for learning purpose. This will be one vulnerable machine. In the same way, this will be two. Let's stick with two, right? So I'll say this is Linux machine. This is Windows machine. The question is, Nankishore, now what kind of network settings I need to use? See, guys, number one, if you expose these particular vulnerable machines to the internet, yes, anyone can access if they have a little bit of knowledge, and they can, hack this system. From this system, they can get into your company and can do anything. Scenario: you're working at Wipro tomorrow, and someone has compromised your laptop. You brought the laptop inside the Wipro, so they connect to your laptop using the ARP table. They can see what are the other systems you have connected. From there, they can get into the network easily. So that means I need to avoid the internet. Now, if I go to this particular setting, right? So which are the scenarios wherein I can avoid the internet? One is the internal network. I can avoid the network and host only adapter. These are two scenarios, right? But again, since this is a vulnerable machine, right? So that means if I leave it access my Windows also, it will affect. So then I have to stick with internal network. Okay, I'll go to the internal. I'll just select I network. Let's put it as internal network. Okay, this is my internal network. Then Kishore, you said internal network, only the systems which are part of the network they can communicate, but we need to attack the system using their Kali Linux. How can we do that? Yes, that's very much true, right? So we will extend our internal network to Kali Linux as well. Now Kali Linux is a part of the internal network. Now Kishore, this is something interesting, right? Now that means these three systems can communicate among themselves, isn't it? Okay, Kali Linux can access this system, can access this system. That means we can do our testing. And this is my Kali Linux. Okay. Now you might be asking me, hey, this is good, Nankishore, but again, as a pen tester, right? Sometimes I need to download or some stuff from the internet. But here, we don't have the internet access for this kind of scenarios. See, internet access, no internet access, isn't it? But I want one more configuration which got internet access. We have NAT, we have bridge, and we have NAT network. So we have three options left. So what I can do is, again, I can choose any of the option, but here I don't want to go with the bridge network. The reason is, in the bridge network, I can even access my other machines. So for example, I was targeting these two IPs and I forgot, without my knowledge, I might ping my, fridge, wherein I can damage my fridge as well. So I will rule out this particular option. Now I left with NAT and NAT network. Then Kishore, NAT network is again, something, you need to configure. Okay, let's go with the, NAT network. NAT, only NAT. That's fine. So what I do is I configure one more network with the NAT. Yeah, we'll take this color. Okay, this is that. Okay, now the purpose is I need to get the internet. Yes, I'm getting the internet. Even I have some files on the host. This is my Windows 11 machine laptop. 11 laptop. Okay, so that means I have my system in the internet network, and again I have my system with a part of NAT network wherein I get the internet as well as connectivity from the host. Now you might be asking, hey, we have only one network adapter and you said you can configure into one network. But if you see, we have four network adapters. Okay. So what I do is in the first network adapter, I'll give an internal network. And the second network adapter, I'll give NAT network. See, now is it possible? Yes, my internet one network adapter will take care of this two system, another one will take care of this particular part. So this is how the scenarios you need to create, and this is exactly how we create the lab. So again, recently I have implemented a lab on what I don't remember the name, guys. It's a cloud platform. How it really works means, say for example, for your promotions you need to complete your training, then you have to showcase your skills on the particular lab. So you raise a request with John, and eventually John will assign you some username password. You log into a portal, and when you log into a portal, it will take 1 or 2 minutes and it will deploy the entire lab. So that means entire lab as a appliance I have given to the cloud people. So it's like a appliance kind of template kind of thing, right? So whenever someone logs in, so they will have one Kali Linux and they will have two systems. That means three systems. You can do your pen testing. If you submit the report, that eventually I'll get the report to validate. So that's how it is. Once you log out, once you turn off or log out, these systems will be destroyed immediately. So that means you are getting a pre-configured lab for your assessment. So in that case, we don't have the second option. Okay, only this part you'll get. The requirement was like that, so I kept that one. But here my requirement is this, so I stick with this. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I got my. Okay, for the vulnerable machines, as I told you, there are two vulnerable machines. You need to look. You need to find on the internet. One is Metasploitable, Metasploitable 2, which is a Linux machine. SourceForge, yes. Just download this. You can download. Okay, click on this. You can download. I have already downloaded that particular machine, and we need one more. Metasploitable 3. Okay, for rabbit 7. So if you have time, guys, just know you can configure your virtual machine Metasploitable 3, but I do provide you a URL wherein the entire thing is pre-configured like an appliance. When you use an appliance, what you have to do is you have to import. So I'll provide you a tailor ready-made ISO image, or not ISO image. It's just a appliance. You download the appliance and you'll have one more machine. So we are covering all the scenarios here. Okay. So for the lab, right, we have is our D drive. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, yes, it's right. Yeah, this is a meta-explorable 2 virtual machine. I'll make a copy of this. Copy. I'll go to my VirtualBox folder, virtual machine folder. I will paste. I will extract. Now this is an appliance, guys. I'm going to import this. It's not appliance. It's a kind of say hard disk which I'm going to attach to my virtual machine. So earlier we used to install the operating system. Now someone has installed the operating system. They have given me the hard drive. I'm going to attach this hard drive to my what virtual machine. So whenever, right, one quick thing, guys, whenever you install any virtual machine, right, Linux, Windows, Mac, so there will be two files created. So one file is called as configuration file. Configuration file. Another one is hard disk file. So always you need to open this configuration file. So tomorrow, if you want to take the backup, right, all you have to do is just go to the folder. So yesterday we have implemented this, sorry, install this Mint. Just an example. Okay. See, we have configuration file. You can take one configuration file, and again, it's not a fully installed. So you'll find. Let me show you another machine I have installed somewhere. Yeah, this one, right? See, this is a configuration file which is hardly some KB, and this is a .vdi. This is a hard drive file. If I take these two files, right, copy, okay, Control C, and I can go to somewhere and create one more folder. Say this is backup of kilometer, paste. That's it. Now I have taken the virtual machine backup. Now if I want to open a virtual machine from this backup, all I have to do is just go to this virtual box, click on this. Okay, you can say add. So it's under D drive. Where yeah, virtual box. Where is my kilometer? Yeah, backup kilometer configuration file. Now cannot open machine. Why is cannot open machine? Huh? Is it still copying? I think some issue with the machine. But generally, this is how we do. Just all you have to do is just open that particular VMX file or configuration file. That should be open to that should be enough to open the say virtual machine. Okay, let me do it with something else. We have Kali. Yeah, VMX. See, now this is ready. So that's how it is, guys. So we have discussed how to take the backup of your virtual machines as well. Okay, this scenario we'll be discussing. Okay, snapshot. As I told you, let me open my Linux machine. Add that one. Okay, this is my lab machine. Yesterday I have installed this. Let me turn on. So basically, what is snapshot is whenever you install your operating system, then fully update your operating system. Update your operating system. Just find see my other Linux videos. Then once everything is working fine, you see yes, my operating system is up to date. Then take a snapshot of that. That's a clone, not clone, a state of it's a kind of picture photo. Tomorrow if my virtual machine get corrupts, right, then you can literally go to the snapshot and you can restore that. So already I've taken the snapshot. This is my snapshot. If I want to restore this particular image, yes, click select the particular image and you can restore. Just a minute, guys, let it okay. Let me take one more screenshot of this. Take image of this, say snapshot 2. Okay, now if you want to restore the first one, you can restore. You can take the second one, you can restore. It'll take a little bit of time to create the snapshot. So this is all about snapshot. What else? I have discussed the snapshot, backup, network settings, virtual machines, basic settings, general interface. I have discussed everything. So this is all about your virtual box, guys. Let's implement the lab. Okay, minimize this. So my requirement is not this. Okay, power off. Yeah, that's fine. Power off. Close everything. So in this lab scenario, I need three machines, right? Machine number one is a metasploitable 2. Yes, let's create a machine with a metasploitable 2. Yeah, first one is victim 1 or victim 2 or one. Fine, whatever it may be, right? Fine. So I don't want to install anything. It's a Linux machine. That is fine. Okay, and yeah, that's fine. Let's stick to this, right? So 1, 2, that's also fine. So I don't want to use any hard drive because I'm going to attach the existing hard drive, right? Use an existing hard drive. Where is that hard drive? I just unzip, right? Probably here somewhere. Yeah, this is my VMDK. That's fine. Choose that. Next, finish. So I got my first virtual machine. Now you see, I can start that. First time booting, guys. It will take a little bit of time. Please bear with me. Okay. The username is msfadmin. Password is also msfadmin. 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 Okay. Let me check the IP address. ifconfig. See, the IP address is 10.0.2.15. That means this is this IP address we cannot change. This is a NAT network IP address. Okay. Let's keep this for some time. Okay. Let me check my CMD. CMD IPCONFIG config. My IP is 192.168.1.51. Ping 192.168.1.1.51. See, it is pinging my Windows 11 laptop. Okay. If I ping this particular system from my laptop, it should not work. Ping 10.0.2.15. See, it's not pinging. This is a typical, characteristic of a NAT, because the Windows network will create a separate, network. So Windows laptop will create a separate network for each and every virtual machine. And if you see our Excel sheet, NAT, does it ping the host? No, only one way is possible. Okay, that's fine. So request timeout. That's fine, guys. So we'll minimize this, but before that, we check the configuration. How much RAM I have given. Settings system. Oh, it got 2 GB of RAM, and what is the processor we have? One processor, 2 GB RAM. That's fine. No worries. Let's close this, right? Always power up, guys. I just using shortcuts. That's fine. Now this is my victim one. Now I want to create one more machine. So here what I do is I have metasploitable 3. This one OVA. This means open virtualization appliance. I need to import this. Go to this import appliance, then D drive, ISOs. Next. Yeah, that's all fine. Now it will take at least a minute to two to import that appliance. Again, all this process, everything depends on your hardware. How powerful is your laptop? If I'm setting up this lab on a gaming laptop, believe me guys, it won't take much time. So I want to use a laptop which is support my work, the day-to-day regular work, which should have good backup, battery backup, and eventually it should do a little bit of hardcore work. So this is how it is doing. Now if I want to increase my laptop power, I'm using a MSI laptop, so I do have this kind of thing, right? MSI. Okay guys, one quick thing, right? Whenever you're doing your this kind of hardcore work, make sure you plug your laptop, turn on your switch, and all the laptops guys nowadays they are getting this kind of feature wherein you can boost your laptop power. So generally there are three kind of powers in laptop. One is a base power, this kind of economy, what eco mode kind of thing, then middle mode and a turbo mode. Okay, I don't want this one. This is my system info. Okay, let me update later, not now. If you are using Asus, Asus do have kind of software. So is that particular system not system diagnosis support? No, probably optimize battery. Yeah, balance and high performance. If I select this right, then literally my I'm just giving more boost to my laptop, but this will take a toll on your battery as well. Let me say smart auto. I really don't know what is this. Optimization. Or let me put on the high performance one. Okay, is in high performance. That's fine. And yeah, is it done? Okay, so let me check the settings of the system. Okay, it is Metasphere 2. Again, it's a Windows machine. As I told you, we'll be having one Windows, one Linux. What Linux? It is taking 1 GB of RAM. Let me increase the RAM to 3 GB. Okay, process. Let me increase the process to 2. And storage. Yes, it got storage. Network. Again, this is host only. Let me check this. Yeah, let me put it on NAT rather than host only. Let me turn on. So guys, I am literally, spending my time to train you in the most effective manner, and my expectation is only one. I want you to be on top of everyone. So once you go through this particular virtualization video or VirtualBox video, You need not to go with any other virtualization video or tool or anything. So we have we are covering all permutations and combinations of VirtualBox. Okay, guys. Now the system is up. Either you can log in. It's totally up to you. If you don't want to log in, still okay. You can do your work. Okay. I don't want to log in. I want to log in. So let's see. Okay. Control Alt Delete. Use it this way. If you put Control Alt Delete from your laptop, it will lock your laptop. Okay. We have one administrator user. Another one is a Vagrant user. Just click on Vagrant. Vagrant. Activate later. It is based on Windows Server 2008 R2. Okay. Restart later. That's fine, man. I don't want to restart now. This is a PowerShell. If your laptop is a little bit of less of laptop, or if you don't have this kind of configuration things, then use only Linux. That's Meta's Portable 2 rather than sorry, Meta's Portable 3. Use the Linux version. What is this one? IP. Okay. See, the IP address is 10.0.2.15. If I want to ping my host, I can ping from here. Ping 192.168.1.51. This is my Windows 11 laptop. But from Windows 11, I cannot do that. Guys, just 1 minute, please. So sorry for the guys, and this is our second machine, second victim machine. Now we need one more machine wherein we can target, right? So we will close this machine as well. Two machines are up and ready. The first machine we have downloaded and we have just attached the hardware. Second one is an appliance. and I'll be sharing you the appliance tomorrow. You can download, probably I'll share on my Google Drive. I'll share you the link. And third one is my Kali Linux machine, which I already installed. So add, okay, virtual box. I have lots of Kali Linux, right? Let me check this. I probably have not installed, I think, Kali Linux. Yeah, I've not installed, guys. Just a minute. I should have one installed virtual machine as well. Let me remove this. Yeah, I can import this one. Which one? Kali Linux, right? Or I can directly double click on this configuration file. It will import. Okay, so now I have my three systems. So if you see our diagram, right, it says I want these three systems on my internal network. So option one is I'll go to the victim one, change the configuration, sorry, network. This one I'll select internal network. Okay, this is my internal network. I'll just straight away replace this as internal internal network lab one. Okay, again I want to put this also in the internal network, internal network lab one. Okay, and again I'm not enabling any other adapters on this. I want only one adapter. On Kali Linux, again I'll put it in the internal network. Also, I want internet to my Kali Linux, right? I need to configure one more, one more adapter. So I'll go to the adapter 2. I'll put that under NAT network. Okay. So tomorrow you might be asking, hey Nankishore, along with that, I do have one more network, Nankishore. I want to connect to that network as well. This is my other network. Okay. I want to, give a connection between these and the Kali Linux thing. Yes, what you can do is just control Z like this, and include one more network so that you can extend your network to that particular network as well. Go to the Kali Linux configuration, network two already done, three. So what kind of network you want, you can attach the network. Let's say a NAT network. Okay, up to a maximum of four virtual network you can assign to each and every network. Now my system resources, right? Again, I have increased my laptop power 20%. That's fine. So just want to check one more time what is the configuration of my Linux. This one I gave to, so I'll make it as 2 GB of RAM, and process, that's fine too. Okay, and for my Metasploit 2, 2 gigs of RAM, 2 processor, that's fine. This one, 1 gig of RAM, 1 processor, was it? I'll make it as 1 gig of RAM. Now everything is fine. So I have 1 gig, 2 gig, 2 gig. That means 5 gigs. So my Windows will take 8 gigs. So that means I'm good on this. CPUs I gave 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. This might be a problem, right? So let me reduce this to 1 CPU. Yes, my system will be slow, but oh, what is this? This is 2 gigs, right? I gave 2 gigs. 1 CPU. This will be dead slow, but still is okay. Okay, now everything is fine. I can turn on. So one of the challenge for the internal network is I need to configure the IPs manually. So again, as I told you, we have ChatGPT to configure. Again, since I have less RAM and hard drives, it will take good amount of time, for hardly a kind of half an hour for configuring, because we configure the lab network once, then we practice, right? So what I do is I know everything is fine in my home. I know what I'm doing. So instead of internal network, I just put everything on a NAT network. So Just change the settings to NAT network, lab NAT network. That's fine. This also lab network. Um, lab network. Where is the lab network? Yeah, NAT network. Lab network is also fine. Invalid setting detected. What is this? Okay, probably somewhere this one display. So as I told you, right, just bring this to green color. That should be fine. What is the one? Okay, and let me put this into NAT network. Okay, now I will turn on each and every machine. Turn on. So you need to understand, guys, when I put on NAT network, where is the Excel sheet going? Okay, so can I ping other VMs? Yes, I can ping. I can ping the host as well. I'll get the internet and Windows, DHCP will assign. That is perfectly fine. Can I ping other systems on my home network? No. So this is something like which I have chosen. Just I would don't want to assign the static IP for each and every machine. If I use this, then again I have to assign the static IP. And again, since these vulnerable machines they should not connect to the internet, but here I'm going to disconnect once I show you how the lab network works. Then I'll disconnect everything. Then I turn them off. Okay, guys. MSF ADMIN. MSF ADMIN. Okay. See 10.02.4 because we put in the NAT network. Let's check the IP address of this. Oh, so let's ping this 10.0.2.4. Okay, the same IP. Oh, okay, one small thing, guys, one small correction, right? NAT network won't ping the host. Sorry, no, but it does get the internet. It won't ping the host. Sorry, internet is yes, and host is no. Sorry, my mistake, guys. Ping google.com. See, it is pinging. Control C. That's fine. So we'll minimize this. To come out of the window, you have to press the control button on your keyboard. Now let me turn on the second one. Let me see my hard drive. Sorry, Task manager. Yeah, the CPU is gone to 20%, 30%. Okay, the memory is gone here. Just Windows start Windows normally. Now, if you're having a gaming PC, guys, definitely yes, you can literally open 6 to 7 VMs. Okay, this is up. That is fine. If I want to log in, input Vagrant. No, 2.0.4. As I told you, Windows systems require more hard CPU and RAM, but we have given one CPU and 2 gigs of RAM. It will take a little bit of time, in fact, good amount of time, right? And meanwhile, let me check. Can I start? Okay, that's fine, guys. Can I start my Kali Linux? Again, I'll make a little bit of change here as well. Not 4 gig, code 4 gig, I said 2 gigs, and return on. Okay, this is up. Activate me later. Look at the CPU, guys. Now CPU is 55, 60, 70, like that. RAM is this much. I have give me a minute. And here, let's put this one here. And where is the distribution here? And we'll put the task manager here. Now that's this is a very good view on Windows, man. I really like this one. Okay, okay. I have CONFIG. So if you see the IP address, right, 10.0.2.5 and 10.0.2.4, this is the IP address of this my victim one. So always remember, guys, if you see the last update, right, the last part, the first three parts should be the same. If you want to, if you want the systems in the same network. So 10.0.2 is same for all these three. If I uh, see, this is 15, right? This is 14. This is 2. Let me ping the one. Ping 10.0.2. What? 5. Now it will ping the Kali Linux machine. If you see the TTL value, which is 64. So for Windows, it is 127 or 128. Less than that is a Linux system. Let me ping the Windows from here. Ping 10.0.2.15. Check the TTL value as 128. This is a Windows system pinging. So that means my system is connected, all the three systems are connected in between, and now I can do any kind of work. Now this one is what is the IP of this? If config, the IP is 2.4. Let me ping the Kali Linux 10.0.2.5 2. What? What is the IP address? 5, right? 5. See, it is pinging the Kali Linux. The TTL value is 64. That means all my systems are working fine. That means I can start my penetration testing, network penetration testing. And this is how we implement the lab on our virtual box. And this system, they communicate among themselves. They do have internet. If I don't have the internet, if I don't need the internet, then I can put in a different kind of what network configuration. Sorry. Okay. See, it is speaking Google as well. Okay, now I want to see like now what simple thing like now I want to check the all the address. I don't know anything, right? I don't know anything. One way of doing is I can scan the entire 10.0.2 network, or I can use one more command called sudo discover. Enter. Let's see what are the IP addresses available on this network. I don't know any system, right? 2.4 is a metasploitable 2 machine. This machine 2.4, and eventually it will check for 2.15 as well. It will give me all the all the IP address. So this is one of the command, net discover. Come on, man, this is slow. So by the way, guys, we'll be discussing the Kali Linux in detail. When we do the penetration testing lab, it's not lab, network penetration testing course. But right now, the intention of this, virtualization thing is just to implement a virtual machine. In the eventually, we play around with the network settings. Then we play around with, setting up a lab, which includes a Linux machine and a Windows machine and a Kali Linux machine, which is acting as a attacker, and these two are victim. So that completes the virtual box training. Okay, where is that? Where is the network? Notepad, sorry. So this one is done. Backup I showed you. Snapshot, network settings we have discussed. Virtual machine, basic interface, blah blah blah. All theory is done. So if you want to, see these settings. If you want to remember, this is very important, guys. Now, if you have an in-depth knowledge about it, it is mandatory to have in-depth knowledge about the network, because we are talking about the security, right? Yeah. So with this, I will close the virtualization session here itself. Right? Let me close this. Power off. Okay. Before that, let me see my system. Again it's 35. Yeah, that's fine. But literally, guys, I can hear my fans. I have two fans on my laptop. They are literally playing now. Too much of stress on the laptop. See, I've got 15. This is a Metasploitable 3 system. 4 is Metasploitable 2 system. And 5 is Kali Linux system. Okay. Control C. Sudo. That's it. Power off. This one I see again. I spend most of my time with Linux rather than Windows, so I know Linux commands and have very good hands-on on Linux than Windows. And one of the problem even I face with the Windows laptop is uh, I have three laptops at home. So my personal laptop is a Linux laptop, and I do have a Windows laptop wherein me and my wife and my kids they use. Another laptop is there. That's purely I do my engagements. You can say. So the Linux laptop 24/7 I spend the time on that, and I got a Wipro laptop which is a Windows 11 laptop. Eventually, everything is logged on the laptop, which means I cannot do. Rather, I can open the browser, browse some sites, open Outlook, check my emails, open Teams, do some kind of communication. That is all. And yes, if I want to prepare any documents, I use Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. That is all, not more than that. So I use 6 to 7 applications on Windows. So that is the reason I don't know many of the Windows commands. But yes, Linux, you ask me, I'll tell you everything. And I will make one video about Linux, how we convert a normal Linux into a security distro, and that we'll be using it for our what uh, practice purpose. So that's about virtualization. Let me